After several crazy months that included fiery Trump posts to Truth Social, as well as swattings and threats against Indiana elected officials on both sides of the issue, the populist Republican redistricting effort has failed in the Hoosier state. The final vote, 19 to 31, with 21 Republicans and all 10 Democrats voting no. The bill cannot be reconsidered until 2027 due to Indiana General Assembly rules. A bill with the same or substantially similar language to a bill that has been decisively defeated cannot be reconsidered during the same session. After the vote, President Trump reiterated his desire to primary Indiana's GOP senators who voted no.
You had one gentleman, the head of the Senate, I guess, Bray, whatever his name is. I heard he was against it. He'll probably lose his next primary, whenever that is. I hope he does, but because he's done a tremendous disservice. I mean, think of it. It's a great place. I love the people there. They love me. You know, we won in a landslide all 3 times. Got tremendous votes. I got record votes. And then there's no reason for doing that. And the Democrats do it to us, so I can't imagine that they do it. But I wasn't very much involved. But there's a man named Bray, as I guess, head of the Senate. Was that Bray? Is that the name, Bray? I mean, I'm sure that whenever his primary is, it's I think in 2 years, but I'm sure he'll go down. He'll go down. I'll certainly support anybody that wants to go against him.
7 of the senators who voted no are up for election in 2026. By the way, Indy Reporter is a great follow both on X and YouTube. Even before voting finished, Turning Point Action had already posted field representative jobs to primary no voters. Here's a Terre Haute job posting. This position is responsible for working in the field to hold Senator Greg Good accountable and support the grassroots effort to primary him. Coefficient has announced the results of a poll taken on December 11th and 12th. Survey of 1,010 GOP primary voters shows that 72% supported the redistricting effort. If that's accurate, incumbents could be in for a rough road ahead. So who's to blame for this debacle? Some will say it was because of Trump's heavy-handedness, that Hoosiers don't like to be bullied. There's some evidence that the White House is playing hardball. In a post before the vote, political commentator Aaron Wren urged passage because Trump has the ability to cause Indiana a substantial loss of jobs and funding if Indiana doesn't do what he wants. In short, a lot of jobs and millions, possibly billions of dollars are potentially at stake. In a now deleted post on X, Indiana Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith seemed to confirm as much. But if I had to guess, I'd suspect that negotiations didn't start with threats, but that they ended up going there because of some bad actors. Here we see Vice President J.D. Vance allege that Indiana Senate President pro tempore Rod Bray was saying one thing while doing another. Rod Bray, the Senate leader in Indiana, has consistently told us he wouldn't fight redistricting while simultaneously whipping his members against it. That level of dishonesty cannot be rewarded, and the Indiana GOP needs to choose a side. Political consultant Alex Brusewicz claims that Cam Savage, a consultant whose clients are said to include Indiana's U.S. Senator Todd Young, was one of the behind-the-scenes players promising to finance Republicans willing to sabotage or oppose the redistricting efforts. Before the vote, Savage was named by Trump as someone opposing the efforts, and, as Indy Reporter points out, Savage is not a fan of Trump. Imagine still being a fan of the old National Review guys in 2025. Where there's smoke, there's probably fire. After the vote, it seems that Oklahoma Congresswoman Stephanie Bice and Indiana Congresswoman Erin Hochschild have both fired Savage. The network connected to former Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels also seemed to be in opposition. In a story by the Associated Press, Daniels was happy with the outcome. Former Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels praised senators for courageous, principled leadership in rejecting the new map. A Republican who has vocally criticized Trump, Daniels said that the outcome was a major black eye for him and all the Washington groups that piled in, spent money, blustered, and threatened. He added that this thing rubbed our state the wrong way, and Republicans in our state very wrong from the jump. State Senator Spencer Deary, a former Daniels aide for about a decade, was a no vote. There are also rumors circulating of a backroom deal with Maryland politicians to stop redraws in both states.
Hang on. Are you saying the scoop here is that the Indiana Republicans reached out to Westmore and agreed that Westmore will not try to push for 8-0 in Maryland, and they won't try to push here? That's the deal they cut?
Now being reported. So they reached out to this guy, Bob Ferguson, name I've never heard of, but it's now breaking on the internet. He's, I think, their state Senate president. And the reality, Steve, is they tricked them and said, hey, we're not going to redistrict if you don't redistrict. And the reality is they can't redistrict in Maryland because they get tossed, and we would probably actually pick up a seat there or two with the Supreme Court, which Republicans control, and they know that. And so we would have actually liked that because we could have actually picked up 4 seats with this little equation, 2 in Indiana and possibly another 1 or 2 in Maryland, to be frank with you. And so that's a huge, I mean, this is coming out on the internet. I mean, literally as I'm getting ready to go on the show, as I'm watching the court situation, it's that they got totally played or this guy is totally bought and paid for and corrupt. I mean, it sounds like both, most likely.
However, a person claiming to speak for Bray and Ferguson claims the two did not have a non-redistricting pact, but they were certainly comparing notes. On a different note, Indiana State Senator Chris Garton's star could be on the rise after his speech on the Senate floor in support of redistricting.
Some will say these maps are political. Let me be clear. You're damn right they are. Political policy is political. Safe streets are political. Look at Indianapolis. Affordable electricity is political. A drug-free Indiana is political. Peace in the Middle East is political. I dealt with it firsthand. If drawing a map that secures 2 more seats for the Republican Party means that we continue to see overdose deaths drop by 20%, then I'll draw that map every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. If drawing a map means that we'll continue to see a 93% drop in illegal immigration, then I'll sign it with a smile on my face. We're not here to be neutral arbiters of decline. We're here to be active agents of American greatness. So I ask you, do not shrink from this moment. Do not hide behind tradition when the future of the Republic is at stake, because make no mistake, that's what the scope of your vote is today. The courts have cleared the way. The data has proven the case. The precedent has been set by our opponents, and the White House has made the call, and it's time for Indiana to answer. Vote yes for this map. Vote yes for 2 more seats. Vote yes for a safer, stronger, and more prosperous Indiana. Thank you, Mr. President.
Garton is right. Drawing congressional districts is political. In our system, that's a feature, not a bug, as radio host Tony Kinnett pointed out in his show last night, where he went over the constitutional reasons why that's the case. I thought that his segment was excellent. You can find that video and all of my sources linked in the description below. This has been commentary from Beyond 465. If you thought that this video was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. If not, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.